What's up? Let's give it a few minutes before we get into the analysis. Wow, I just got back yesterday from Dubai. We had a great time. We made a lot of great connections, which I'm going to follow up on starting in a few minutes, like 30 minutes or so, according to this stream. Ping me if you can hear me on X, on YouTube or Twitter. Just let me know, and let me know if you can hear me okay. I hope this is coming to you live, and we're gonna share a very concerning update. Well, we have two updates to share. First of all, we have this very weird. Before we get into the Cerebro thing, we just got a Houthi ballistic missile that struck actually the Ben Gurion airport, and this is the actual footage that someone actually got to film. So the missile actually did hit the airport. I think that's the airport parking lot. We were in the shelter. We got the alarm, but I had no clue that this was actually hitting the airport. So this is very serious. So we're expecting some serious retaliation from this. Hopefully, this gets resolved. But yeah, this is not gonna go off easy, guys. So yeah, this situation can worsen a lot. Now, did anyone hear about the Cerebro death? That it says the Cerebro death killed himself. If you don't know who Cerebro was, for anyone that's new here and just watching the live stream, Cerebro was one of the first AI kind of automatic music makers. It was an AI influencer that had a coin attached to it. You can see it here. This is the chart, which is now probably dumping on the news because, well, if no one's going to make more Cerebro music, then what's Cerebro up for, right? Now, the other thing, the reverse can happen, right? So this is the video. I'm not into sharing like this type of stuff, but there are claims that this was a fake video. It's very dark, so you cannot really see it, but you do see him at the end, like actually grabbing a gun and pointing it to his head and like pulling off the trigger. So I'm not gonna put the video here, but there are some claims that this is a fake. He's faking his own death just to like maybe run off and disappear. But there are a lot of talks about what's happening. Any case, guys, listen. So there are some posts that this was fake and edited. In any case, guys, please, stay safe. Never risk your life or consider taking your own life because of money or any other thing that's going on in crypto. So I hope this is fake, but I guess we'll never know because he's faking his own death. He'll probably just disappear from the space. I see people already, creating meme coins around his death. So, guys, please, just don't take this to that far. Okay, there's crypto and then there's real life. Don't mess with your real life for any coin, token, or project. The life is sacred and is treasured, and that must be the go-to. So I hope the Cerebro dead did not really take his own life, but please, stay safe in any case. Okay, let's go back to the charts. All right, guys, what are we seeing here? This is a very big picture. We're gonna go long term, short term, and we're gonna see how it goes. Okay. Now you see this red mark that I've marked here. This was the building, the breaker block where we broke down from 95. Right. This is the last blue bullish candle before the breakdown that broke market structure on this February, right? Now we're coming up against it again. Let me show you something that will clear up the mind for you, because we've been so bullish right now, we're so back that it's hard to see, right? Let me invert the scale. If you would see this chart and you would see, okay, this was Bitcoin, what you would say is, okay, we made a low, we already broke through it, and now we are kind of doing a retest of the support, right? So would you be betting on this thing just falling out of a cliff, or would you be betting on this working at some kind of support, either this or this? And this is what we're seeing with the inverse chart, right? So this red box would probably work as support, right? Now let's go, this is to the daily, now let's go into the 12th hour. So you can see that this bullish block is working now as resistance, because now let's bring the chart back, right? And you can see that this is a place that long, like where we were down here, people were praying for a way to de-risk and kind of consolidate if we would just have a retest, right? Well, this is a retest. Now, the difference, of course, between this price level here and this price level when it come here is that this didn't last for even a day, whereas this has been sustained action here, which is a point for the bull case. So the point is, what are we doing now? So I have to have a slight bearish bias due to price action, because we are now retesting resistance, even though we've had a super bullish April, end of April / May, right? This move has been super bullish, and it did break some market structure here. As you can see, it broke here, the market structure at 85. So this could work as a very strong bullish order block. So let's mark it down here, right? We would say, okay, if this is going to be a bullish move, maybe we're going to now retest this as support and then make new all-time highs, right? So what are we saying right here? Okay, let me be more precise. We're in the 4 hours, so that's a 4-hour building block. So if we're more precise, this would be the bullish order block that you would like to see respected as your bull. So now we're in one of three scenarios, right? As I see it. One, and let's go down a notch for the 2 hour before we start doing an actual decision on our trades. So as you see, this kind of bearish block seems to be holding. So as I see it, we have one of two options, right? The hyper bullish case is that we just make a cute consolidation here, and then we start finding support here, and then whoop, we start retesting all-time highs, and then we retest this 98 as kind of support, and then that's it, back to all-time highs, breaking all-time highs, and that's it. That will take us to end of May bullish, June bullish, and the whole year, just parabolic move. That is kind of the mega bullish scenario. That's scenario one, most bullish. Now, let's see how would that look like. The mid scenario, right? The conservative scenario is that we start pulling back here. We try to find here support, maybe here, maybe all the way back here. But this is the this is the lower high, right? Sorry, this is the higher low. We're setting a higher low, and then we go consolidate here, and then we go like this. This still gives us a bearish month of May, like sell in May and go away, and a consolidation June, July towards the last hooray of the bull run. I think that scenario is more likely than not. This is the mid scenario. The bearish case, right? The bearish case on this is that we just retested. This is going to be a higher low from this case, and this is a price action that we get. We get until here, or maybe we do another last array until here, but we are expecting down only from here, and then this is going to try to hold. Maybe this tries to hold, but then we actually fall and we're going to do a lower low, and then that'll make for a very, very bearish case. And maybe then we go find support at the previous all-time high, 69, and then it still creates an end of the year that can be super bullish, or a last parabola or something into September, October. So what we're going to go for now, I'm thinking, is even if the conservative scenario plays out, we are expecting a pullback up to here, 89, or all the way into here, 84, 85. This is kind of the conservative scenario. And so that's what I'm building on the medium term. Now, if we turn out the hourly bullish blocks and bearish blocks, so you can see that there's a clear bearish order block here, right? Sorry. Let me see if I can bring down the chart for you guys. So this is Bitcoin. So now we can see that this is kind of trying to making this support, but we have a clear break of structure here, right? Like we were doing this kind of thing, this kind of higher highs and higher lows. This is a higher high, and then we put a new lower high according to this. So this now becomes a market break. And of course, we could come retest this hourly bearish block, right, as a retest, which is a shorter block than what is drawn in here. We would mark it as the last up candle of a bearish move that's breaking market structure, which would put it here. This would be like a short-term bearish order block, and we can come retest around here. If we put in the middle, that will make a retest of the 97,500. And I still think we're due for a pullback, right? We've been super bullish for the last couple of weeks. We've done great moves, mainly on Bitcoin. Some altcoins have already popped off. And where are we off to next, right? So this is in the hourly. Now, another thing I want you guys to notice is the Bitcoin dominance. Bitcoin dominance have been still creeping up, right? We have this, let's put this out. If you take a look at the daily, Bitcoin has been relentless since that November, December AI agent and meme coin run from last year. And it has been just up only basically from there. Now, this is a worrisome part, because this was serving as kind of resistance on the Bitcoin dominance chart. And now we see that this wedge, which I have marked here, and you can clearly see that ascending wedges tend to break down, right? But this one over here was kind of a fake breakdown, and now we're starting to creep up above this resistance and slightly above this wedge. What that means is this could actually have a slight, like a sudden jump or a quick jump to this 72, and a 6% or even up to a 7 and 8% jump in Bitcoin dominance. That would be super devastating for alts, meaning alts would get definitely smacked. So that is supporting the bearish case, because if Bitcoin starts to make a new all-time high, we would expect this to break down and also start rallying, which is not the case right now. So my midterm analysis right now is bearish, And now let's go down to what we could trade today. Okay, so what we could trade today, okay, we're seeing support being held here. So let's mark it. We're seeing a reaction over here. But is this going to be just a slight retest, like a slight reaction, and it's going to keep them breaking down? Or are we going to go up to retest this? And that will give us a bullish bias for the day. Even if it goes up to retest this 97 level, that's a 2000 jump for a Bitcoin. That's on the short term, right? So we can be long term bullish because Bitcoin is going to the moon, $1 million and beyond. We know that. We can be midterm bearish, which means we probably Bitcoin's due for a pullback since we've already run from the lows at 75 to we're now at 95, so over $20,000 jump, right? Things don't go up forever, especially with a volatile asset like Bitcoin. And we've already done this massive move. So a pullback at some point is expected. Is it going to be today? I don't know. But you see this major, massive jump. Okay, that's going to retest some levels. That's broken some key levels here and here. Let's put it down here better, right? So this is going to probably retest some level, at least a support, either this major low that it put in around the 74 to 75K, right? This is a major low we have to watch for. And then this put in is a low. This is a higher low, slight one, but obviously gave into this higher high. And now this could serve as a potential other higher low. And then we go a bit higher, but we already had a higher high. So if this is a third wave move, like 1, 2, and then this is like the 3, then we would already expect an ABC correction, right? So I'm expecting a pullback where if we're going to find a higher low, then that's the most bullish case. If not, then, brace yourself because things might get nasty here. What are we going to do for the bias? So this is what we're going to do, guys, for the bias of today. I was waiting for this to confirm. Okay, this is a very, very now short term because that's the most tricky part. I was waiting for this to decide if we're gonna go break down or we're gonna break up. And I think this is decided since I started the stream that it probably wants to break down. So what we're gonna do today is we're going to look for bearish setups and breakout, right? Because this is breaking down. This is right now kind of supporting, but we could expect at least a retest to the 94 area. That's a 1,500 drop on Bitcoin till this support. Let's see if we have other even more bearish opportunities. So this is a terminal. There's a new account. I got my last account approved, but couldn't make to make like actually some payouts from it. It's a sad story, but that's part of the learning process. Okay, so this bear chain is breaking down. The problem with this looks ugly as hell, right? The problem with this is finding an entry because this obviously is just going down and down and down only, this bear chain thing. But where do you go in? That's a problem. Like obviously it's breaking down, but look, it's down only. So at any point in time, this can do like a huge jump, and this is already like a 10% jump. So where do you short this thing? That's the key thing, right? Where do you short this thing? Bear chain AIXBT did a humongous move. So this could also start working as recovery, right? Because it broke market structure here. You can see that this could serve now as support. So this is a much more bullish chart, even though it's already starting to break down. Let's mark this thing here. In any case, This is a bit of a more bullish chart. So if we mark here this price, you see this is starting to break down. So this is the first like lower low. Maybe a retest here would put us would make this now work as a resistance. So let's mark it down here. All right, let's mark this level here, which it broke. No, not here. Here. Shit, damn it. Let's break it down here. Around here. This could be a retest of support, and then that could lead us to a further correction. Pengu did a massive run, man. Massive run. It's so bullish that I would be hesitant to short it, right? But you see that it's giving a lot of that move back right now. So let's see the 4 hour. Where are we at? Yeah. So it did a massive move, recovered some key areas, but now it's putting in like a, you see, like this kind of double top thing, which is breaking down right now. So I'm leaning bearish, guys. And the question is, which coin would you short, right? Penguin's been super massively bullish. So are you shorting this, or are we gonna find a weaker coin? This is kind of the weaker of the bunch, Bera chain. But where do you grab it? Where do you? What's the setup? Like, what's the entry point? Like, it can easily come back and retest these levels, and then you have a 10% jump that takes you out of the trade. So what's gonna be the trade, guys? I think we're going to wait for a retest here or here, and then probably get into some shorts. This is what we're gonna do. All right. So let's see what we can find as a setup. Fartcoin. How's Fartcoin doing? Let's see. Fartcoin is being super bullish, but also super volatile. So, okay, this is a maybe a better entry, right? Because this has been up only. It has 1, 2, 3, maybe a swing failure pattern over here. The problem is that it's already gone down quite a bit, right? This retest would be the best shorting point. Now we have to see if this is gonna work as support, or we're going down from here. Would you short Farcoin? Let me know in the comments, guys. It's a hard call because it's been so volatile, right? Let's see. We could, at least until the next support is around 0.6. It's not that high of a risk reward, right? Because even if we short it here and this fine supports around here, what are we looking at? Still maybe a 20% move. Yeah, we could be looking at that. Okay, let's see what we do. If we were looking for shorts, guys, is we want to look at the weakest ones. Penguins definitely had a huge run. Virtual has had a huge run. So are we bent to correct on this, or are we finding support in here? What are we doing? This is interesting. So is this going to work as support or not? Okay. This is what we're going to try out, guys. See, we're already coming down, but we did find support here. So what would be the best move? We're coming down on Sui. I think Sui has some very huge up like unlocks coming on. All right, I heard about when are the unlocks for Sui coming? Let's see. Hmm. Okay. You see that this is starting to break down. Good volume. Good thing the Sui has a plenty of volume, guys. So and a good short here, if this doesn't find support, which would be our first target, right? This would be our first target. It's already not that significant. This would be what, a 10% move for Sui. Yeah. But would this work as a lower high? Then we don't know. But otherwise, this is juicy, guys. This is like a dollar down. It's almost a 30% move down. So that might be the case, you know? What about S? This is also trying to break down, but it didn't come up that much from the lows. Trump. Trump is also. I got wrecked, and when I got stopped out, showing Trump, I did definitely did not expect that. We thought this would be the major pump, and then it would just dump. And look, it made a second run for it. So it is quite dangerous shorting Trump. Although this is a clear break of structure, right? This candle right here. So we can put this as a price point now because this was a clear breakdown of structure. So maybe we won't see any other dinner news from Trump. Okay, I'm going to start to take a position here, guys. Is this going to be like short or long? I think I'm biased short right now because of this latest breakdown. So I'm gonna look for shorts. Yep. I'm gonna short Trump coin. Maybe. Why not? It's a good short. We could put the stop loss over here. See what the size can give us. This is gonna be our first short, guys. Our bet is that we're going to just keep dumping Trump. This was the first dump, and we're expecting another large dump. So this is one. The other one is here. And we can see that this would constitute sort of no, sort of a kind of descending pattern over here. So if we get a breakdown of this pattern, then this would create a good short opportunity, and we would expect it to drop to the next support level, maybe at 850 or maybe at the beginning of this pump, which would also be very significant because this was a huge pump at 940. I think this can be the best potential for a short, guys. So this is what we're doing. We're hunting a short with a tight stop loss above 1140. Let's see. Let's see if we get it. What will be the optimal time to enter? Is this gonna hold or not? I would have liked to enter here when it was breaking down, but we'll do it right here with a tight stop loss above. This is the high, 1140.48. So let's see what we get. Let's see if we get a retest of this latest breakdown. Yeah, I think this is going to be our move now, guys. So let's see what our risk capability is with this new account. So if we're going to sell, we're going to have a limit order. We always put it a bit above, almost at 120. So if it goes up to here, let's imagine here, let's say, where is a good order to take? Yeah, if it makes a lower high, that would still put it around here, 110. Yeah, it's getting there. 119. And then we're going to sell, and we're going to have a protection order above, we said, this level, 11,420. 11,421. That gives us too much of a risk, so we need to decrease our position to 600. That's how you measure the move, guys. You have to put your stop loss, and according to the stop loss, you edit your position size. If we go to one lower, and we can do this here, like 341, and then the risk of getting stopped is higher, but we can have a higher stop loss. So let's see what this would mean. This would mean 341. This would be our stop loss. Okay, let's do 351 to give it a bit of room. And then that allows us to increase a bit our position size. We don't want to risk more than 2% on a play, guys. So 800 is going to be my risk. My stop loss is going to be right here. And my take profit is going to be whenever we get the account validated. So we need to earn. This is just for a quick calculation, guys. You know, when you're trading professionally, the calculation has to be much better, obviously. So this is going to be our send order. Let's see if we get it. Okay, it's starting not to work, so I'm gonna chase it a bit, right? So 69, not too much. Yeah, we still need to reduce here the size. 750. Okay, that gives us a good order. Let's see if we get filled, and we'll see how it goes from there. Okay, it's starting to break down. Let's see, where's Bitcoin going now? Yeah, on the short term, the stochastic is pointing a bit upward, so that's why I say we may get a retest of this thing right here. It's got up to 110. Let's see if we get this order. If we do start to collapse here, guys, I'm just going to reduce my entry, and then I'm going to reduce my stop loss to here so that we can enter here. Okay? I don't think this is going to happen right now, but it can. I mean, are we going to be that? Is going to happen now? I don't know. Let's see. Okay, we're in. Okay, we're in, guys. Let's see how this behaves. If this goes our favor. I'm gonna make sure we don't risk more than 2% of the account. That's a law, guys. That's a law. 2% and change. Okay, now we see if we're going to. This is just a fake breakdown, and this is going to just continue up, or this was like an actual massive breakdown, and we're expecting a follow up move to the downside. Following up also with Bitcoin, right? So if Bitcoin breaks down and finds a new support, maybe at 94 or all the way back down, then this short should play out. Bitcoin dominance on the shorter time would obviously probably go up as Bitcoin dumps. We're starting to see this right now. This is clearer than the Bitcoin price action, because when Bitcoin starts cracking down, guys, people start selling the louds, some to dollars, some to Bitcoin. But when Bitcoin's about to dump, you can see that alts tend to dump not only harder but also earlier, right? Because people say, okay, looks like we're going to correct. Let me get out of my alts and into dollars or into Bitcoin, right? A lot of, including myself, we trade alts to get more Bitcoin, which I think it's a good way to have a goal for your trading. Let us see. Let's see what's going on. Yeah. So let's see how Bitcoin reacts here. Looks like it's going down. And now let's check out our trade. Okay, right now it's not yet playing out. Remember, guys, we don't need to get the TP top like this tips. That's not where we're going. We want to see if we get a significant move, right? Now this significant move can break structure here, and that would be okay. That would be a lost trade. But it can also mean that, we're off to a good start. Let's see. I also had a long trade on Ava, which is now starting to look grim. So I'm going to place a stop loss here in case that this was just it. Below here, this low. This is an Ava. Travala. I really like the coin. That's why I was going long. But if we are about to make new lows, then sorry, but I don't want it. So let's put a potential stop loss around 330, right? $349, and then 0.63. No. Yeah, this is gonna be my stop loss. 63.39, 63.27. We're gonna put a stop loss in case that this is breaking down as well. This is on Binance. This was just a spot position, so no leverage here. And let's see if it holds. It's looking like it won't, but it was putting up like a very, very important move, like breaking some key structure highs. If you see in the long term, we have a signature here, signature move when the CC mentioned Travala, this pump up to 3.5. So the risk reward here was quite positive. That's why I took the trade. Remember, this coins, once it does a move like that, it's going to consolidate for days or months before it makes its next move. And if that was just a fake move and we're all going down, then this is not the time. But eventually it can come back to there, right? Okay, so we see the Trump trade is starting to get into a bit of profit. but nothing is said and done until we do break this support, right? If we do break this support, we want to see this come down. We want to see this come down to our take profit here at no take profit at this 9.678. This would be a good. This would make for a good trade, and a pump on Trump coin would be a bad trade for us because that will stop us out, and that will be yet another lesson learned. But that's the risk reward, guys. We're risking a very small percentage for a high percentage. Let's calculate the position to see. I know it's more than 2 to 1, but let's at least see what the analysis is here. So let's go here to Trump coin. We'll add it to their favorites already because, well, it has volatility, it has a lot of interest, and although I think it's ridiculous and it eventually is going to most likely trend to zero, you know, just like Dogecoin and Elon Musk, they can tweet something and the coin can pump to the moon, and things can happen, you know? You never know. So right now we're bearish on Trump coin. Let's see if this pattern plays out. Okay. So this is our bet, and this is our stop loss, and this is our breakout. Let's see what our risk to reward is over here. We are risking this short position that we entered just here. We are risking, yeah, this is the risk, and our reward is 9765 97. Come on, it should be a 5 to 1, right? Because if we're risking 200 and we're expecting to earn 1,000, that makes for a 5 to 1 trade. But I'm gonna make the exact calculation for you guys anyway. $975, yeah. So 4.75 risk reward. That is for me a good setup. So I'm going to stick with it. And my bet is that obviously Bitcoin does break down. If it starts using this 95,500 as support and come retest here, then of course I'm screwed. This trade is screwed, but we'll see how it behaves over here, right? This bearish order block is very, very hasty. So we'll see how it behaves. I'll keep you updated tomorrow, guys. And hope you have an amazing rest of your week. We're going to leave it here. We got the analysis. We got a few entries. We have our live trade as we do here on the stream. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this if you're following. And see if you are taking this Trump short trade with me. Let me know. Send me a DM or comment in the post below, and let's see how this goes. All right, guys. So Thank you for being with me, if you are, and have a great rest of your week. Bye.